Well, hi everyone. I'm John Redland, back with a retro review of WWE Raw from May 2nd, 2005. Because it features that super kick. You know the one where Shelton looked like, his soul left his body right there on camera. But there was actually a pretty good episode all around that. But boy, that super kick, sweet Christ, that super kick. I decided to review it. Yes, it is a day past the 15-year anniversary of it, but I'm like, well, why not? I need content. You guys enjoy the retro content. And I'm sufficiently bored by most of modern wrestling, especially the current product. So anyway, let's talk about Batista and Christy Hemme flirting, and then Bischoff appears in frame. The weirdest three-way that I have seen. Also, Bischoff is there to announce the Gold Rush tournament, an 8-man single elimination tournament to determine who would face Batista. And then Batista's like, okay, well, wait, I get the night off? Wait, how about I get a match with you? Because, I want a match with you. I want to be able to, just tangle with somebody. And he scares Bischoff, and then he's like, I'm just kidding. Maybe you need a break. Maybe you need the night off. And then Across the Nation, I missed that song. That song was fucking fantastic. One of the best Raw theme songs. One of the best theme songs that WWE ever brought in. Obviously, it wasn't produced but they obviously licensed the rights to it, but I'm just saying it was really fucking cool. So then we get Christian with Tomko versus Kane with Lita. And the idea behind this Gold Rush tournament is whoever went to the ring didn't know who their opponents were going to be. They were supposed to act surprised. I would find it kind of funny if they actually went that route, which would have been rather hilarious. This wasn't much of anything. Christian tried to take down Kane, even with some interference from Tomko, but would eventually fall to the chokeslam, and then Tomko took a chokeslam afterwards. So there we go. Also, the fans were brutal to Lita. We want Matt, and a lot of other things. Boy, those fans were ruthless towards Lita. To be fair, they should have been ruthless to her and Edge, not just one or the other. But you know what? Hey, water under the bridge at this point, but some fans are fucking ruthless. So we then get Flair, who's rapping to Christian, because this is a Raw right after Backlash 2005, where Christian had done some rap thing and then talked about Flair and Triple H, and then Christian had gotten beat, and Flair did a little rap, and then when, the winner of this tournament's going to be Triple H, and then woo, and then we get Muhammad Hassan. I can't do the woo. I tried to do it, but I can't do it very well. Muhammad Hassan and Daivari, typical promo about Backlash, the tag match they had against Shawn and Hogan, and he talked about being excluded from the tournament, the Gold Rush tournament, how it was, bigoted, how it was prejudice and all this. But then he blames Daivari and slaps him because he said he could have beaten Shawn and Hogan. That would have been interesting to have, as Shawn and Michael. He would have beaten Shawn Daivari and Shawn Michaels. Aha, the joke works. That's a good cover-up for my horrible botch that I just said on camera. But anyway, he slaps Daivari a lot and says, I could have beaten Hogan and Michaels and been a legend, but no, you had to screw it up, and then leaves the ring. They really had something with the Muhammad Hassan character, Muhammad, because I can talk, Muhammad Hassan character, but unfortunately they did the really bad thing with that SmackDown episode. Oh boy, joking with piano wire, maybe not the best idea. If you want to see more retro 2005 Raw episodes, I may do select ones, but I'm doing so many retro reviews and so much content. I don't think I'm going to be able to do every single Raw and SmackDown episode. But this was fun. I remember when Raw had energy to it. And I'm not just talking about crowds and stuff like that, because now WWE is just doing what they can. AEW doing the same thing. Anybody's putting on shows are doing the best they can. But there's just not a lot of energy to a lot of WWE programming, which is really sad. This just had life to it. We then get Viscera talking about laying out Trish, and that he has a hunger for love and starts hitting on Lillian. Remember, this is when he was hitting on Lillian, and that he likes to eat spicy. Why don't you let me go south of the border? Because, boy, humiliating women, great idea. To be fair, Lillian was beautiful. Still is. I'm just saying, can't blame Viscera for hitting on her. So, then Simon Dean shows up and fat shames him. Because that's what you do with somebody that's 400 some odd pounds. We have a match. Dean tries after a missed elbow, but gets just absolutely slaughtered and splashed. 1, 2, 3. And there we go. And then Viscera says Big Vis is back on the black market. Because he's black. Do you get it? It's a joke. It's a joke. It wasn't a very good joke. It wasn't a very good delivery by me. And it was Viscera cutting a promo. Viscera was not known for cutting his promos. We then get Candice admiring Stacy's spread in stuff. admiring the stuff that she spread in Stuff Magazine, that is. It was a photo shoot thing she did. And then Bischoff leered and creeped over both of them. Lovely. So Candice Michelle, by the way, it's a bit of a. This is a bit of time away from her being, a women's champion. Though credit to her for improving on that. And Stacy, credit to Stacy, who knew that more deserving women were out there and refused to get a women's championship run. She's like, no, there's more deserving women out there. So those reports are true. Credit to Stacy. Though she did hit a pretty good spin kick. She had a gymnastics background, well, a cheerleading background. Really the same thing. Anyway, you know what? Triple H yells at Bischoff. Actually, he was so calm except for all the yelling because he was upset he didn't get his shot at Batista. He said, I pedigreed Batista. Why am I not getting a shot? It's stupid. Because Triple H always having to be in the title picture. But he's in the tournament. And then we get Shelton with Maria. And Maria was, doing a promo. This is when they really didn't know what the fuck to do with her. They were just making her the ditzy moron, as opposed to a ditzy smart person that was just doing the backstage interviews. And then Shelton showing personality. They allowed Shelton Benjamin to show his personality. He actually can be a funny guy. And then Jericho shows up to give him respect. Both of them are in the tournament. Maybe they'll face each other. No, they really won't. Jericho did also say at one point, I haven't had a world title shot in 3 years. Touring with Fozzy, this could be my last chance. This was 2005, and Jericho was a champion as recently as February of this year. So, Shelton Benjamin versus Shawn Michaels, Gold Rush Tournament first round match. This match was great, and yes, known for that super kick. Also, JR seemed like he legit didn't know that Shelton and Shawn were going to face off, or he just is really, really good at being a pro and selling his enthusiasm, or he knew it was going to happen, and he was just still jubilant anyway. Whatever. It was a great match, and yes, Shelton looking, like Shawn's equal, but falling to the one-shot, one-kill super kick. Maybe I shouldn't have called it that, but I'm going to roll with it anyway, because it wasn't Boston, and maybe one-shot, one-kill is, moving on. Shelton got beat by Shawn. And then Edge talks about beating Benoit. Leaving him laying, being the last man standing, and then Lita and Victoria are talking. And Edge says, what are you two looking at? And Victoria's like, absolutely nothing. Funny. This is what they had reduced Victoria to by this point. One of the best women's wrestlers they had on their goddamn roster. One of the best women's wrestlers in the U.S. And I put her up in Japan. I think she could do pretty well there too. At least at this time. And maybe even now. I don't know. But she was reduced to basically being backstage fodder. Rather shame. And Hurricane and Rosie versus La Resistance. Rematch of the finals of the Gauntlet match from Backlash previous night, and it was a side slam either Hurricane combo that won it. Hurricane and Rosie retain the Raw Tag Team titles. Not really much here. We then get an Eddie and Ray package where we see footage of Ray and Eddie trying to get the tag titles back from Eminem, and then Eddie absolutely snapping on Ray. Well, snapping in the sense that he just looked like he just wanted to kill him. Oh, you're my family, Ray. I wouldn't, it's like I really do love you. And then it would go with the don't make me take their papa. And, Dominic, the custody of Dominic in a ladder match. The match was great. Why did they go with the stipulation? But by God, Eddie was a great heel. And I don't know about you guys, but I really miss Eddie Guerrero. We then get Edge versus Jericho, Gold Rush Tournament first round match. Really good stuff. And, oh boy, not too many people can say that they beat Chris Benoit in a last man standing match, says commentary. Nancy and Daniel didn't. I love making things as uncomfortable as possible, apparently. I really need a filter, except I wouldn't be good if I had a filter, because then you guys wouldn't be watching the show. Briefcase shot behind the ref's back, and eventually, even though Jericho did kick out of that, got hit with a spear for 3, and there we go. Now, Jericho was competitive with Edge until that point, and Edge had to cheat to win to advance in the tournament, use Money in the Bank briefcase. Chris Masters with the Master Lock Challenge. $4,000 a Kurt Schilling jersey because this was 2005 Boston. And a Tom Brady signed football. All right. Some guy named James DeFalco shows up and get an obvious plant, bodybuilder guy of sorts, and got absolutely throttled and tossed around. Triple H versus Chris Benoit, Gold Rush Tournament first round match, and this is the last one. Now, mind you, Batista had been given the night off. That factors in a little bit later, and it was hard hitting. There was this one point. If you want to watch one of the most uncomfortable moments in Chris Benoit's career, hell, in wrestling, period, at least in WWE, look at this one point where Benoit is chopping Triple H, and then he gets reversed on an Irish whip, hits the turnbuckle chest first, and Triple H hits him with a clothesline in the back of the head. And then Benoit stumbles outside and falls to the ground. And the look in his eyes, it was a look that Nancy and Daniel were used to. I really need to stop those comments, but I won't, because that's how I compartmentalize my, dealing with tragedy, is to joke around and have dark humor. So, moving on from that, that was very uncomfortable, though, because they went to break on Benoit, looking like he absolutely had no idea where he was, and he probably didn't. Whew. Then there was a ref bump. Flair and Triple H tag teamed Benoit. If only they had been there in June of 2007. Enough. Batista does the run-in and lays out, attacks Flair, lays out Triple H. Benoit gets the sharpshooter on, and Batista pulls the rope back while the ref can't see it, and then Batista, just laughs at him as Triple H gets pulled back to the center of the ring and eventually does the tap out, and Benoit advances in the tournament. Now, Triple H would go on to face Batista at, Vengeance 2005, which I may retro-review, actually. Now that I think about it, maybe retro-reviewing some WWE pay-per-views wouldn't be the worst idea in the world, because I'm retro-reviewing WCW pay-per-views that are of varying quality, from shit to WCW 2000. But anyway, this was a fun episode of Raw. I remember when Raw had enthusiasm and fire to it. Maybe I'll watch select ones, but I'm only one man and I'm producing so much content as it is. But let me know what you thought of this episode and the crazy eyes Benoit had. Anyway, agree, disagree with what I said, like, share, subscribe, Twitter handle in the description. I'm John Retlin. I'll see you soon.